What is up? And thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Horror Debate. My name is Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and alongside me, as always, Michael Mandy.
This week we're going to be reviewing from 2007, Wrong Turn 2, Dead End. That pretty much sums up this movie, doesn't it?
I was going to say, I kind of felt like I took a wrong turn here.
So, what's the plot?
Well,
Jeff, tell us about the plot.
Okay, see, now I got to tell you a little story about the lead up to why I wanted to see this flick.
Directed
now.
by Joe Lynch, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so Henry Rollins, right?
Yeah, Henry Rollins.
Who was in
Feast
with our buddy Judah Friedlander, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And anything that Henry's in, I said this before I even put in the disc. I said even if this totally blows,
Henry's
right,
going to be entertaining
Henry
to watch,
will be entertaining, and sure enough,
Henry does not disappoint.
Does not disappoint.
Henry's a cool dude.
He's
man.
a cool dude. He's a liar.
What do you mean?
Oh, he had a song called "A Liar." I'm sorry. I'm a liar. You know, it was a big deal back in the '90s. You know, on MTV, that was his song. You know.
Oh, okay.
Now he's doing like spoken word concerts and whatnot. You know, he's doing all this stuff, but occasionally finds himself, doing a horror film, and not a bad guy to do it. Really, he's definitely got the personality that fits the roles, man.
Yeah, this was definitely a part I think he enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
He got to flex his muscles a bit on this.
Yeah, I mean, he's so intense.
He's a big, intense, intimidating dude.
Yeah,
and he actually got to do something in this film.
Yeah. Well, basically, what you're looking at when you first start the flick here is a reality show about to be filmed out in the wilderness, right? I mean, somewhere in West Virginia, where this all kind of goes down, and it's basically a survival game. And I was totally confused on the rules, Mike.
Yeah,
it went so fast.
They explained everything so fast, and you've got these cards because it's the end of the world, and you've got napalm, and you've got poison mushroom gas or whatever, and this thing will make a noise if it. And we're like, huh?
We would be remiss not to mention the first 5 minutes of this film.
Best part of this movie is the first 5 minutes. Rent it.
Absolutely incredible. The first 5 minutes. I marked out. I stood up. I did the wave. Slapped you 5. It was unbelievable.
It's a shame that we don't have midnight movies anymore.
Yeah, right.
And you know what? This movie, the first 5 minutes belongs in a midnight movie theater
with people packed.
Packed and ready to go. So if you,
unfortunately, the next 95 minutes or whatever it is,
85 minutes
or 85 minutes,
that'll put everyone to sleep because it's after midnight.
Right. I mean, you get all built up, after that beginning. I was like,
cool
wow, this is going to be kicking, Well, it was kicking, but not in a whole different way,
Well, I think it's because you didn't expect it. You just expected something, that you've seen Jason Voorhees do, just thunk, and it just sit. And just whoa.
I was speechless. You know how rare that is, Mike. Okay, I was speechless. All right, so let's just leave it at that. If that doesn't pique everybody's interest, nothing will. Okay.
Yeah.
Rowdy was speechless. All right. But so anyway, this group of
reality
females and males, reality show contestants are out in the wilderness, and they got these little devices that start beeping, right? And from what I gather is that when you hear one beep,
when you trip the wire on
you gotta complete the task that's on the card inside the device.
Right.
And if you do, then if you do complete it successfully, you then get to pass that card to one of your opponents. Is that right?
Yeah, but the problem is, why would they want a card that says you've been gassed with napalm or
I don't know.
Or maybe you give it to them and then they have to leave the show.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of the new Stone Cold Steve Austin movie called The Condemned. I don't know if you've seen that, Mike, but it's very similar to that kind of thing where it's kind of like a fight to the death kind of deal. You know what I mean? But not really. It's more, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, in The Condemned, Austin is supposed to be a prisoner, and they take all these guys who are condemned to death row, and they toss them out of a helicopter onto this island where they're filming this reality show where they have to kill each other. And who's ever standing at the end of the show wins his freedom and a bunch of cash, basically, right? So that's kind of, I got that vibe from this. It was basically the same kind of deal. But this was a little hokier, I mean, overall. But I got to say, Mike, it lost its appeal shortly after that 5 minute period.
Well, yeah, okay. The first 5 minutes, wow, what an opening. Then the next 15 minutes, them trying to this reality show subplot, which vanishes 5 minutes later,
Right.
and then it just becomes The Hills Have Eyes all over again.
Well, it was yeah. You know, I saw elements of Texas Chainsaw here. I
Yeah,
saw elements of The Hills Have Eyes.
The dinner scene.
There's elements of just about any. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in there. There's even a little bit of Friday the 13th, I think, in there. You know, it's kind of all jumbled up into this this mess that we call Wrong Turn 2. But you know, somehow it did manage to be a little bit entertaining throughout.
I think it's mainly because of Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, this movie would have been a total bust.
Well, they really did go over the top with the gore.
Yeah, there was
gore
some good gore in it.
throughout the movie was pretty over the top. I mean, there was some crazy
Although there was
stuff.
one computer-generated kill that was really cheesy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, and why do we always get that one?
Yeah.
You know, you're going fine, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get that, and you're like, oh, that's CGI. It looks horrible. You know, I don't know. But, you know, the girls were pretty.
Yeah.
You know.
And there was a little bit of skin in it.
A little bit.
Nice.
The brunette, she
Uh-huh.
decided she wanted to get naked, like, real early on in the flick.
Well,
and
because she wanted to make sure she got good screen time.
that's
on this reality
right.
show.
That's right. And what about the guy, the producer, or whatever he was, the camera guy, right?
Uh-huh.
Who she was trying to seduce. Boy, did he get his, huh? I mean, wow. You know,
I did like the fact, though, that he was trying to manipulate the characters into having on-screen chemistry, you know, to show you in these
Right.
reality shows, a lot of times they're not reality, they're manipulated
it's
reality.
manipulated reality. Exactly.
You know, and so it shows you a side of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to completely pan the movie, although a lot of it was laughable. You know, like I said, good gore. And you know, you're not finding a lot of these type of films right now. You know, I mean, you're starting to. I mean, The Hills Have Eyes was kind of like this, like we said, and had a little bit of Texas Chainsaw, but this one was a little bit further, like over the top.
Hills Have Eyes was directed by Wes Craven. Texas
Right.
Chainsaw, Tobe Hooper. Those were, you could see the talent of the director.
Yeah.
Even though that was their first project, although Wes did something else, but still young filmmaker, and you could see the talent behind. Could you see the talent behind the camera on this film?
I could see a little bit. I mean, there were certain things that I liked, but there was quite a bit that I didn't care for. There was a glimmer of talent there.
It was kind of a, I don't know, I don't want to say pedestrian filmmaking, but it was
It was a little
average.
bland. It was a little bland.
Yeah, there wasn't that much style to it. It was just, here's the script, go ahead and film it.
Right.
There wasn't much of the director saying, oh, cool, let's try something.
Right.
You know, let me see what I can do with this.
Right.
Experiment.
So, yeah, you know, and where have I heard the name Kimberly Caldwell before? Now, I was thinking about this all the way through the movie. I want to say that was an actual contestant on one of these horror, or not horror, but reality shows on TV. I want to say that I've heard that name before, and I can't think of what it was, Mike.
American Idol. She was on American Idol.
Okay, well, you know, the name stuck in my head for some reason. I'm not a big American Idol fan
Me
by any
neither.
stretch of the imagination, but for some reason I must have seen her on an episode because that name stuck.
Okay.
But
anyways,
anyway, you know, this is run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, it was good in the sense that you got what you came for. You got the gore, you got the nastiness, you got the intestines, you got the body parts, you got the
weird
grinders, you got the
weird
arrows.
gorked out sex.
Going down sex. Okay, there. If that's what you came for, Mike, you got it, bro. Okay,
I'm
so
just saying that there was some in there. You watch it. Oh my God.
this is not the most effective film we've seen as far as storytelling, but again, when you go see Wrong Turn, this is kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
This film had nothing to do with the original Wrong Turn, by the way, except for the fact that the plot still revolved
Takes
around
place
these
in an
mutants.
area with lots of trees.
Oh yeah, and with these mutants and deformed, you know, folk and whatnot. But you know,
Unfortunately, Eliza Dushku was not in this one.
and that's a big unfortunately, because I would have loved to have seen her in that scene at the lake. But anyhow, you know, rating this thing, breaking it down, this is a tough one. You know, it kind of warrants, I think, a 2-star rating.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think 2 stars is a safe
And the
bet.
reason I say that is because I don't think it was a complete waste of time.
No.
But it lacked a lot in the storytelling department.
Yeah, don't set your sights too high so you don't get disappointed, but you'll kind of go, wow, that beginning was pretty cool.
Oh, the beginning was 5 stars.
Yeah.
The beginning was 7.5 stars. Okay, I kid you not. That beginning took me completely by surprise. 5 minutes. Give the movie 5 minutes. You will sit through the rest because of the beginning. I guarantee it.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff, and we will talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.